Becoming a parent is a wild ride. And I don't mean toddler tantrums or going out for a beer with your mates and realizing you've still got poo down your fingernail. Anyone out there with little ones running around will know that it strips you back to the studs and it shows all your faults and gaps for what they are. On the flip side, it can be really transformational and show you the things that matter to you the most. That's what I want to talk about today and show you how it's led to me wanting to start a new business and hopefully do some good in this world. So it was Super Bowl Sunday, 2022. My wife and I just got home from the hospital with our newborn son. I cannot remember a single play from that game. I can't remember the score, if I'm being honest. But what I can vividly remember is sitting there and thinking, this now is the only thing that matters. And I think that is the biggest gift becoming a parent gives you. And that is the gift of clarity. All of a sudden, because the most important thing is sitting on your lap, everything else that isn't so important also becomes very clear. Over that first period, I started to look at what subtractions or standards do I want to make to ensure that this little lad gets the best that I have to offer. With the subtractions, it was taking away anything that was misaligned, people or projects that were just maybe time wastes. And then with the standards was how could I ensure that I am in the best health physically, mentally, to give that kid what he needs. Now, I was quite lucky to have worked with young kids early on in my career. And what I learned quite quickly was that kids pick up every single word and every single action that you make, whether you're conscious of it or not. And once you put it out there, it's really damn hard to take back. So with the bias that I have being in health and fitness, I immediately looked at, well, how could I make sure that I am at my best to perform every day? So how could I improve my standards around sleep, standards around nutrition, to ensure that I wasn't snapping when I didn't actually mean to? And I'm not saying I've got that all figured out. I certainly snap quite often. But I'm also getting pretty good at saying sorry and apologizing. Now, this clarity also forced me to make some professional decisions. Like I said in my last video, I've been very lucky to have a career in professional sport. The unfortunate reality is that this profession is not the most conducive to family life. Many of those I've worked with have struggled to keep relationships, and those that have don't get to see their kids as much as they would like to. So I immediately knew that something had to change. If I want to live a life and show my values to my kids, I need to be able to spend time with them when I want to. And I also want to be able to travel and show them the world. Most importantly, I want to build something that my sons can be proud of. But I would be lying if I said I suddenly had everything figured out. As I said a moment ago, we took our first son home in 2022. This is 3 years later, and only now am I starting to talk to you about this business that I want to put together. So I knew something had to change, but it's taken me 3 years to get this idea together. And what drove me to that decision is seeing my mates around me become parents at the same time. And many of them were struggling to hold on to their health as they were raising families. 3 in particular who had large joint operations because the wear and tear and straight up abuse have finally caught up with them. As I was helping them through their rehab process, it became pretty clear that there are some gaps in the health and fitness world. Things that I was unaware of before, having avoided social media as much as I could over the last 20 years. But it seems to me that even if you look at the good information out there, there is a real lack of ability to take it from principles and methods to something that's genuinely practical. On the one side, you've got the evidence-based guys with just a real lack of applicability to real life. And on the other side, you have the fitness influencers that might be putting out good stuff, but are really just guiding you into their sales funnel. So where is this middle ground of putting good principles and methods from the evidence, using the evidence as a compass, but putting it into a map that real world people can follow? And I firmly believe that fitness can be a foundation for fatherhood. You can safeguard your family's future by safeguarding your health. By being healthier, you literally get more quality years with your kids. And that's going to form the main purpose of this channel, translating elite performance principles into practical, absorbable methods for fathers. As this channel grows, I hope to build a coaching business. One, that supports my family, yes, but two, can maybe do some good in this world. So the current plan is to build a mentorship program for future fathers, fully funded by the coaching business. This is important to me as growing up, I had a vacant father, not many good male role models around, and I know a number of other fellas that are in a similar position. And I want to make sure, as best as I can, that no other father arrives at fatherhood as ill prepared as I was. Now, this is just in the beginning phase, and I'm consulting with other mentorship programs to see where the gap is and what we could potentially do. But when I have that figured out, I will share with you a gap map and more of a precise plan. But at the moment, it's going to be an educational platform and potential one-to-one mentorship, again, fully funded by the coaching business. Now, it would be lovely to say that the path forward from here is clear, but with clarity often comes the exposure of all the things that are getting in the way. And for me, there is a number of limiting beliefs that I'm having to overcome to push this thing forwards. But I'll cover those in the next video. For now, if you're watching this and you made any subtractions or standards when you became a parent, I'd be interested to hear. And if there are any gaps that you believe need filling, that this mentorship program could potentially cater for, I'd also be very interested to hear. I'll continue to share with you the growth of the business, the experiments, decisions, the misses. No grand promises, just building in public. So thanks for coming this far, and I'll see you in the next one.